right, so section 5.4, and yes, we skipped section 5.3. On 5.4, we have systems of non-linear equations, and these are only going to be in two variables. What's not so good about them is that they have things other than lines, so they may intersect more than just once. They could intersect twice, they could intersect 4 times. And you have to solve quadratics along the way. All right, so again, some steps for solving. You can use substitution, you can use elimination, and these are basically the same steps that you had the other day. So, if we're going to use substitution, that means that we're going to take one equation, solve it for a variable, plug it into the other equation. So, I think I can probably solve this for y by adding 1 to the other side. So x squared plus 1 is going to equal y. So then I can take what y is equal to here and plug it in down here. So we would have 4x minus x squared plus 1 equals negative 1. So distributing this negative, we're going to have negative x squared. I think that's going to confuse you. Hold on. We'll do 4x minus x squared minus 1. Just distribute the 1. And then I need to rearrange my terms, and I need everything on the same side. But I like for my x squared to be positive. So I'm going to move x squared this way and 1 this way. So I'm going to add x squared to both sides. And we're going to add 1 to both sides. So when I do that, it looks like a 4. And now that I'm thinking through the fact that we're doing that, I think that you don't have to have everything equal to 0 for this one. So we have no x squares. The x squares cancel here. So we have 4x. The 1's cancel. Over here, the 1's cancel. We have x squared. Slow people. I just want to know what I was thinking when I did all of that. Trying to get everything on one side equal to 0, that obviously didn't accomplish that. But I can subtract 4x. So I have 0 equals x squared minus 4x. Now we can factor out an x as the GCF. And we get x equals 0 and x equals 4 as our solutions. And you should have two solutions. So if you think about what you have a quadratic and you have a line. So you have something shaped like this and something shaped like this. They can have two solutions. They would intersect twice. Oh, they could. All right, so next, we have a line and a circle, because this is the equation of a circle. We haven't learned that yet, but it is. All right, so that should also probably cross twice. It could cross none. It could cross only once, but usually they cross twice. And again, substitution. If we, if we just get x by itself, so this would become x equals negative 2y, then you would have negative 2y minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 5. All right, so now we have to do some multiplying. Remember, this means do it twice. So it's this times itself. So we get 4y squared plus 2y, so plus 4y, plus 1. This is y minus 1 times y minus 1. So that would be y squared. That would be minus y, so minus 2y plus 1, and then equal to 5. All right, again, you have a quadratic, so when you combine your like terms, I'm going to subtract 5 so that it's equal to 0. And then hopefully it will factor. And I think for the most part everything's going to factor. So we'll have 5y, y. I think we put a 3 and a 1 because that'll give us 5, that'll give us 3. We'll get a 2 if this is negative and this is positive. So we're going to have solutions for this one. If we take this equal to 0, then we end up with 3/5. And if we take this and equal it to 0, we end up with -1. Alright, so that is substitution. You can also do the addition method or the elimination method or the linear combination method. Depends on what textbook you're using or it's going to call it. And so some examples of that. It's kind of, we've done it before. You want something to go away. So you want x squared or the y squared to go away. So if I multiply, it doesn't really matter. We'll do it otherwise. So let's say we multiply this by -3 and multiply this one by 2. So we're going to have -9x squared minus 6y squared equals -105. I'm not so confident in that number. Okay. Alright, so this is 8 and 6 and 56. Clearly not 56. Jeez Louise. 96, sorry. Alright, so we get -x squared, y squareds cancel, equals -9. So x squared is +9. Take the square root of both sides and you get positive or -30. Alright, so if you look at this, you have 2 circles or 2 ellipses. Again, it's not that important which one you have. But if I have 2 circles or ellipses, they could cross 4 times, is what I'm saying. I don't even know what that looks like, Saturn or something. My point is you have 4 solutions, which is what we're going to get here, because we have 2 different x's. So we've got to plug the 2 x's in and get 2 different y's. So if I plug in a +3, I'm going to get, this is 9 times 3, so 27. Subtract 27 and you get 8. Divide by 2 and you get 4. Take the square root of both sides and you get +or -2. Alright, now, if we plug in a -3, the first thing you would do is square it. So making this negative changes nothing that happens after that. So you would end up with the same answer. So basically we have an x of 3 and an x of -3. And we have a y of 2 and a y of -2. So if I plug in a +3, I got a +2, I also got a -2. If I plug in a -3, I would get a +2 and a -2. So you have 4 options for solutions. Those 2 ovals are going to intersect 4 times. Alright, so for the next one, that top equation is a quadratic, so it makes a parabola. And the second equation is a circle. So those are probably going to cross up to 4 times. If you have a quadratic and a circle like that, then they're going to cross 4 times. You could have a quadratic and a circle look like that, and they would cross twice. So I don't really, at this point tomorrow, we're going to talk about graphing and finding solutions because it's going to be inequalities. But for today, just do the math and just be okay with the fact that sometimes you have 1, sometimes you have 2, sometimes you have 4 solutions. Alright, so this one is actually set up where you can do the, what's it called? Substitution. But they have it and they use the addition. So for us to do that, we need x squared and y to be on the same side. So I'm going to rewrite this one. I'm going to move the x squared to the other side. So it's -x squared plus y equals 5. If I add those together, the x squareds cancel. Have y squared plus y equals 30. It's a quadratic, so get everybody on one side equal to 0 and factor. So we need a y and a y. 6 times 5 is 30. If that's negative and that's positive, I get +1 when I add. So I have solutions of 5 and -6. Alright, so if I plug the 5 in, we're going to have 5 is equal to, I'm plugging it into the top one, x squared plus 5. So x squared is equal to 0. So x is 0. Alright, if I plug in the negative 6, then I have negative 6 equals x squared plus 5. Subtract the 5, and that's negative 11. And I would get x is equal to plus or minus the square root of negative 11, or plus or minus I root 11. All right, so we have one solution at 5, 0. And then these imaginary solutions, we don't have to actually give a solution. So you can just say the one at 5, 0. All right, so I'm starting to second guess myself, so I'm going to go through and work real fast and double check and make sure that I agree with myself. Okay, we're good. All right, so you get to pick which method you think is best. So take a second and think. What do you think they're going to be? All right, if you haven't made a decision, pause. All right, so I think that on E you should use substitution because it already has y equals some stuff. And on F you can use the addition method. All right, so pause and work those and see what you get and see how you do. All right, so we put this in the place of y. We have x plus x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 2. So x squared minus 3x plus 4 is equal to 2. So x squared minus 3x plus 2 would be equal to 0. Subtract that 2. Alright, so then we're going to factor. We need a 2 and a 1, both negative. So we get 1 and 2. Alright, so if x is 1, then 1 plus y is 2. So y is 1. So you got a solution at 1, 1. If x is 2, then you have 2 plus y equals 2. Subtract and you get y is 0. So you have another solution at 2, 0. Alright, and you have a quadratic and a line, so 2 answers make sense. Alright, so over here, I think I can just add them because the y's are going to cancel. So I have 2x squared, no y squared, equals 18. So x squared is equal to 9. So x is equal to positive and negative 3. Alright, so we go back and we plug in the positive 3. So this is 9 minus y squared. So subtract the 9, divide by the negative, and you get that y is equal to positive or negative 2. Now again, if I plug in a negative, the first thing I do is square it, so it's going to be positive 9. All of this is the same. So I have a 3 with a positive 2, a 3 with a negative 2, and then I have a negative 3 with a positive 2, and a negative 3 with a negative 2. So I get those 4 solutions. Alright, I think that is it. That is. So let me figure out what the assignment's going to be and write it on there. So for section 5.4, your assignment is page 587, numbers 5 through 40, multiples of 5. Alright, if you have questions, please let me know.